Hey everybody, it is Jeff and I am live outside today. So I've been doing a few live things today because I've had a lot of questions coming in, and then I've also had a lot of people ask me about their wills and stuff. I didn't realize there was going to be this many demand on wills. And let me explain a little bit. The biggest questions I'm getting right now, the reason why I take it out to all you is so you guys can make an educated decision on what to do next with your wills and everything. My phone's on the charger. My battery life, I've been so busy today, my battery on my phone's already died twice. There is a thing called probate court that a lot of people don't know about when getting your will and everything done. And a lot of people, they think, okay, I could just write my own will and it's done and it's taken care of. But then you have to ask yourself, why do people go to lawyers to get your wills done and stuff like that? It's all about the probate, okay? Two things you got to know about your will, and this is all free advice. One, when you write down your will and everything else, first off, you need to have it notarized so that it's an official copy. Two, you need to put it in your refrigerator or something, okay? The second thing is you cannot, in any type of court in Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, Iowa, the ones that I basically work with, you cannot have a copy of your will go into court. If they do not have the actual will, it is no longer valid. So a lot of times, like I said, that's the reason why we keep it in our refrigerator and everything, okay? Now, why do I give you this information? Because these are little things that are unpredictable. You know, death is unpredictable. General powers of attorney, you know, you may need something that later on down the road. And I have a lot of people that are always, they for some reason, they feel it's okay to argue with me, and that's fine. But here's just that, you can argue until you're blue in the face, but the fact is, if you don't have a will, if you didn't have your will done, okay, and probate doesn't really care about a will, they care about who's representing the will. So, you know, when everything's said and done, yes, you can write your will up for free, but who's going to represent that will? Now, what I do is I actually sound with people, or I give them the phone app, and you can actually do your will through my services, or just go to the public library, get a will done, but make sure to have it authorized and certified. Okay, so you're going to want to get it notarized. Now, after you get it notarized, what is probate? Well, now if something goes into probate, who's going to represent that will? This will is a pretty big deal, okay? Now, we all know that people get cancer. We all know that people get diabetes. We all know that diseases happen, accidents happen. You know, we all know that life has its everyday ups and downs. And one of the things that I can do for you is your will, healthcare power of attorney, living will, and trust for minors. And I can also make sure that probate has all the information that you need. What we do is we have our lawyers look at it all, and it's good for life. Now, the reason why I've been getting a lot of calls lately is every time there's stuff on the news going on, it scares people. A will should not be something looked at as a scary ordeal. And I do know that I've sat down with people and I've done their healthcare powers of attorney, you know, and their general powers of attorney. And they get really nervous because they think they're going to die, or they think they're going to go ahead. No, actually, it's actually a gift left behind. So your family members do not have to handle, you know, all of the stuff that's basic that you yourself can be handling, okay? So if you want to get a hold of me, just call me up on my cell phone, 217-316-0219. But if you're going to do a will where you're going to do a handwritten will, you got to make sure it's notarized. You have to make sure it's somewhere like your refrigerator, or somewhere where your family members, if something happens, you can find it right away. If it is a copy, that will not be accepted in court, okay? I'm just going to tell you this right now. You can argue with me until you're blue in the face, and you can make a big stink and a fuss and all this. The reason why I say that is because I'm trying to be the person that tells you realistically, if your copy of a will goes into court, it will not be recognized. It has to be the actual will. Now, outside of the states I mentioned, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Missouri, okay, it could be a little different. But I also know that a regular will, unless it's represented, will not hold up in probate court. And if somebody contests the will, whether your signature is on it or not, you will need to have a lawyer or yourself go in and defend that will. Most of the time what happens with that is the person that is contesting the will because they want something that you didn't even know was going to happen, what's going to happen is they're going to bring in a lawyer. And that lawyer is going to win the case because they know the law and they know what's allowed and what's not allowed. Okay? So what I ask people to do is, for basically pennies, you know, give me a call. Let me help you get your will and everything written up. Okay? We are not a contract or anything like that. Basically, get your will written up and everything else. If you want to keep the services, that's fine. If you just want to stop it after you get your will done, then that's fine also. But here's just it. I have people that are members of my own team that have had our services, and they have a will right on their phone. They have it on their computer. They have one in their desk drawer, and they haven't even written it yet. My thing is this: get your will done. Write one. Get it out of the way. You want to know something? It doesn't matter if you think it's taboo to have a will or not. What's bad is when a family member or yourself dies or something goes on, and you have to leave behind something that nobody else knows about. I can't tell you how many of my Marine Corps brothers and sisters, my military brothers and sisters, I hear about, oh, I didn't have a will, now I'm fighting something in court, or the kids are fighting for stuff in court. Now here's another one about wills, and this one's important, okay? A lot of people will tell me, well, yeah, I've got a will. Great. When did you update that will? And they look at me like, what do you mean? I got it done 18 years ago. Thing to the nanny. Or you're still going to leave everything to the aunt and uncle that have passed on. You're still going to leave your kids with your mom and dad who may have already died or disabled or have Alzheimer's or something like that. When was the last time you updated your will? We can help with that for pennies also. The reason why is because if you have our services, the will's good for life. Every year you have our services, we'll update your will at no charge. And some people that have our services need to have their will updated, okay? Like me. And, you know, my dad's at an age right now to where he cannot, and I don't want him to, take on any more responsibility than what he already has. The reason why is he's my dad. I love him to death. And like I said, my sister and my nephews and my brother-in-law, you know, I love them to death. But now it's kind of like I have to look at my will and update it. So what I did was I went ahead and I updated my will. I did it right on my phone, actually. I sent it to my lawyers. They wrote it all up for me. They sent it back to me. I looked at it all. It took less than 2 days. And then I looked at it all. And I said, okay. And then I went over and I had it notarized. And then I put it away in a safe area that my daughter knows where it's at. My family knows where it's at and stuff like that. And they also know that they have to have the actual handwritten will that I have. And my company did that for me. Okay? So if you want to get your will done, and your healthcare power of attorney living, which is different, mind you. So first we do your will, then we'll sit down and do your healthcare power of attorney. Now you can do this yourself. You can have me come and help you with it. I don't care where you're at in the United States. I'll come and help you. Or, you know, you can have a family member or somebody else come over and help you out. My suggestion would be when you do your will, do it with your family, but have a third party write it out for you. Don't let anybody try to influence you or what's going on whatsoever, okay? And the reason why I say that is because nobody knows your situation but you. So that's the reason why I always act as a third party. Everything's private and confidential. I only say my situation up whenever we do anything. But I want to make sure that your stuff is all written out and it's readable and that the lawyers know what's going on. So the lawyers will have a copy. You'll have the actual thing. But if you need a lawyer to go into court for you, the lawyers have a copy. Now, I did say that a copy is not held up in court, but when you got lawyers representing you and fighting for you, they will also know where that copy of your will is because you're going to tell them. And if somebody needs, then they're just going to say it's here, but they also have a copy of it, and then they can go in and defend it for you if it goes into probate. Okay? Now, a lot of people may not have those problems, but anymore in today's world, let me ask you this. All your social media content, all your pictures, all your friends' names, addresses, and phone numbers, everything you have on your social media. Who are you going to let in charge of all your social media content? Some people make money off social media. Did you know people can get a hold of your social media and make money, and that money's actually yours? You just didn't know about it. And all these different lawsuits that are going in, something could happen years from now, and you could be left a sizable sum. I mean, think about it. Whoever thought of Roundup being sued because it's a poison, which we all know, but now all of a sudden because it causes cancer, there's billion-dollar lawsuits on the table just from a simple company named Roundup, okay? Now, why do I say this? Because, well, number one, I've used Roundup most of my life, and so has everybody around me. I've had people in my family die of cancer, so, who knows who or what can come down the pike. But you need to have somebody that is responsible that can act on your behalf, and that's what the will does. A will is a testament of your life. It's not about what you got in the bank or how much money you got or anything else. One of the greatest things I got left by my grandma was I had a picture of the burning Mary and the children of, anyway, it's a statue I wanted, needless to say, and Our Lady of Immaculate Reception. And I was left it, and it was pretty neat and everything like that. So sometimes when you're leaving stuff, it's not junk to your family. It may be something that's being left behind. It may be who's going to represent you when you cannot represent yourself. It may be something if you die, or what if you're in a coma, or if there's a car wreck and there's money left behind. I mean, there's so much that I can go on about. But what you want to do is you want to get this will done, okay? And while doing it, make sure your kids know what's going on. Like I said, my daughter's 12 years old now, so once again, I will be updating my will next year. I still don't have any other kids, but if I ever do have any more kids, I will have to update my will. I know that my buddy Rich, his daughter's getting ready to get married, so I know he's going to have to update his will again. I know that my other friend Brian just had another child, and he's going to be updating his will. I can tell you that when people lose somebody in your life and they're in your will, well, if your will has them in there, it's going to go to the next person in their life. In other words, if you don't change it, it's not going to go to your next of kin. It's going to go whoever you left it to's family. So you always want to make sure to keep your wills up to date. You want to make sure your children are being left in the care of those that you love and not some crazy person. You want to make sure that anything that's left behind, that your last testament and your last rights are upheld, and in a will that can be done. Now, why do I say this? Is because I've had a lot of calls today about a lot of wills. Now, I've been trying to do a little other business, but the wills are the biggest one. And I also been doing a lot of work over with the veterans home and with several nursing homes. And of course, about a week and a half ago, one of my friends, once again, he died, and he, they had to call me to find out where his will was at. And so I let him know. And luckily for us, he did have a will, and he did have it, updated and everything else. And a lot of people just thought they were going to go over and just take his stuff. Believe it or not, he had some people that just were going to go take his stuff. What they didn't know is he had a will with all of his stuff documented. And because of that, people do go to jail because that's not your stuff. You can't just go to somebody's house and take what you think, oh, well, they're gone, I'm just going to take it. That's wrong. But if you don't have a will, who's to say it's not? And so that's what I want you to know. If you want to get your will done, my phone number is 217-316-0219. I'll leave it on here, 217-160-219. Okay? And everything is private and confidential. I operate in all 50 states. I operate in all provinces of Canada. Okay? We are in the United Kingdom, but I haven't done anything there yet, so... don't get me wrong, I love the United Kingdom, and they're great people, but I haven't got over to that far yet. So I just want you all to know that whatever you guys need, we can help out with, okay? Now, I understand that lawyers charge thousands of dollars to do the same thing that I can charge you $24.95, and it's done for life, okay? And like I said, if you're military or something, or if you got special groups or whatever else, I can probably find a way to lower that price a little bit. I can probably give you a deal or a benefit. I can probably bring it down a little bit. You just have to talk to me. I got to know where you're coming from, who you are, and it's going to be done up by some of the most powerful lawyers around. They're going to write it up for you, and they're going to make sure it's good and it's tucked away, and then you're going to have a record of it, and then you're going to have your will done and put away in a safe area. You might have a safe or something in your room, or you may put it underneath your bed. Somewhere your family can find it if something happens to you, because you also have to have a general power of attorney and a healthcare power of attorney who's going to act on your behalf when you're not able to. And let's put it this way, there's enough drugs out there in the world, pharmaceutical drugs, that sometimes it makes us all seem a little bit wacky, and we need to get away from that stuff. But we also know that if we're not in our right mind, we need to have somebody act on our behalf that can represent our best interest. So get your will done, have a good time with it, I would say do it as a celebration. To me, I don't look at wills as a thing of death. I look at it as me being responsible for my life and the life of the people around me. That's the best way to look at it. I was always taught, have responsibility for yourself. Have responsibility for your life. Okay? to leave something and to let your family members just assume or try to figure things out, how's that fair to them? So get a hold of me and I will help you out. Now my phone's on the charger right now, so I'm going to go back down because I had to get it charged. And we'll go from there. And you can also inbox me. Stupid mosquito. Yes, I'm outside today. Now the other thing I was going to tell you all about is I have a survey on my Facebook page, and I am giving away some goodies. We're going to do a drawing with the survey. If you can take that survey, it's going to help me with what I need to do and where the demands are in different areas. And I'm giving away a couple books and some other goodies, and Grace will be drawing for that. Anybody that fills out the survey, that's one entry. If you fill out the survey and you leave your name on my Facebook page in the comments section, if you do both, that you'll have 2 entries, so there's double the chance of winning some of the prizes we're giving out. And we're going to be doing that at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time here in Illinois on Sunday. But you got to get your name in and everything else, and if I don't have at least 50 in there, then we're going to have to push it back a little bit further, because I actually need about 500. Ooh, how'd that do that? Wow, that's a big picture of me. Hold on. Let's see here. How do I put that back down? Well, I can go a little farther out. Holy crap, that's big. No, that's not how you do it. Give me a second here. There we go. There we go. So, that was a big picture of me. So, what I could do is take that survey for me, please, if you don't mind. Get it all filled out and get it sent back over to me. There should be a button that says submit, and it'll submit it over to me. But the reason why I need those is to find out the demands and the needs of what I'm doing and what I do in my profession with the legal profession. And it helps me out a great deal. It's not spam. I really do just need these 1-minute surveys filled out, if you don't mind. So take the 1-minute surveys and win some prizes and help me out. So anyway, I'm Jeffrey Jansen. I will talk to everybody later. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.